I'm Serene Stevenson from Bellingham, and I am a leader of something called Us for Precedent. And when I heard about what happened to you, I said, I want to meet this person, grandma to grandma, and see what do we do to protect our young people as they wake us up
Right.
to what's going on in the country. How do you feel since that
Well, I'm Dorli Rainey, and I've been an activist in this town forever. I've been pepper sprayed right over there when the WTO went on here. I go to city council meetings. Pretty much most people in this town know who I am, and so do the police. When this happened, it was a mistake. They should have not done that. Because for a politician now in this town to have to live with, look at what your police did to Dorli, is not a happy position to be in. So I'm grateful they did that, and I told the police that too. I thanked them. On Friday we had a meeting up at police headquarters, and I thanked them. I said, thank you very much for doing this, because it brought our movement to the forefront in a lot of people's eyes. People have never thought about it before. And to keep it alive now, I don't participate so much in what Occupy people do because I'm constantly doing interviews all over the world. And I don't have time to go and sit with the tents. I wish I would. But those young people are to be admired for living in a tent in the wet grass, being harassed by the cops all the time. And eventually I hope that we can find a better space where they can camp so that they don't have to worry about what happens tomorrow every day.
It's interesting that the same thing is happening all over the world. You watch Cairo, same approach to young people. Power uses violence to put any kind of conversation that's different from the public stance.
It is. I think a lot of the population finally realizes that this is happening. That they are the violent people, we are not. I don't know if you've seen that picture down at here's Cal Davis with the cop pepper spraying these kids that's just sitting there doing nothing. And he treats them as though it was just some weed killer or something. He's spraying on them. And they did nothing. They were silent. And
yes, that was very interesting.
Absolutely
very,
the
very
picture
amazing.
of our movement. Non-violent, completely involved, and we have a message that really begins to resonate with the world, not just only Bellingham or Seattle or Portland, but the world is now involved too.
What do you think we can do to get more grandmas involved?
I don't know. I live in a senior citizen place, and I try to get the people there to come. But they have, I have to go to yoga, and I want to go to the doctor, and they have all these excuses, even though I say to them, why don't you come down with me and just walk around when we're at Westlake? It's not dangerous. It's level, and you can come down there and just check it out. But I don't have any success with that at all.
Well, I was going to say I haven't had much success either, except that people say, I can't believe you're involved and you're so active at your age. And that's what I'm trying to say in Us for Precedent. It isn't anybody but you and me that's going to make a difference, and it isn't a matter of age at all. Education, class, we have to speak up and be examples of the kind of society we want to live in.
That's exactly right. And we don't have a lot of time. The way they are closing down on us violently all over the United States, they don't give us enough time to really put the movement together before they've finally killed too many people and gotten too many people away from the movement.
Well, it's really funny. There's a new drug for macular degeneration that FDA just approved. And rather than look at how many people will benefit from it, the stock market, the price of the stock for that company just went through the roof. And the shots are going to be $1,000 twice a month. Now, how many older people are going to be able to profit from that? But they're going to profit a lot from it.
Certainly they are. That's why they do it. I spent 3 days in Bingen, Washington, on the Columbia River, where there is a drone factory. And we had the man who invented the drones went all over trying to find people to fund his research and to maybe purchase or help with the production of drones for peaceful engagement, not for war. He could find absolutely no funding for peaceful development of those drones. Boeing now is the owner of this company called In Situ.
Oh, yes.
And they are making drones to be used against people all over the world. In Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Yemen probably, and certainly they are probably going into Iran. And it's just because the funding is not available for peaceful use of some of this absolutely outstanding invention that would help mankind.
And they just released information about a brand new weapon that hits a target anywhere in the whole world, using technology and no human being involved at all.
That's true.
And it's like money seems to be the king.
It is. When you look back on Einstein, there's a quote, and I don't know the exact quote, but he was not happy with what happened with his splitting the atom. He said something like, if he had known what was going to happen with this invention, he would have not done it.
Yeah.
So we have used every invention for war instead of peaceful uses. And I shudder when I think we have another mission now going out to Mars. Are we really going to colonize the moon and Mars and everything else? We're already sending troops to keep us safe to Australia.
I know, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
That the Marines now have a base
In
in Australia.
Australia. And it's like bed bugs. Once they get in, they don't leave.
And we're all over the world. I just recently became aware of how many countries we have military installations in. All over Africa.
Yes.
Latin America.
Europe, all the way
Everywhere.
down between Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary. There are missile bases all the way down. But I have a little thing I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to cause a little irritation in
you
Europe.
are?
Our defense minister now has decided that NATO countries should pay for the American occupation troops. And I can just imagine the people in France, England, Germany, etc., wanting to pay to be occupied. I don't think that's going to be a good move. So I'm sending stuff to my friends over there. I said, you guys need to start organizing yourself and stop paying for the NATO troops. That would kill NATO right now.
I think we have to do some personal things, like not use our credit cards at Christmas, and get off the dole ourselves in terms of being consumers and start being citizens again. We're very good consumers.
Well, one good thing about what happened to me is that I've lost weight. So I don't recommend that as a diet. And my checkbook is saying, you haven't spent any money lately because I don't have time. So normally by this time of the month I'm broke, and I still got a little money left this time. So those are the good side effects.
Well, I bought this vehicle that I call Rave Queen, and I'm losing weight because it's an old vehicle, and trying to get it fixed. But we did make it here today, didn't we, James? To meet you. It's our first foray, James and I coming out and campaigning in Rave.
That's wonderful.
I was out of Bellingham. So would you ask her a few questions about her ideas on things that she can do, her ideas of what we can do right now that will help our communities, our country, any specific actions?
People are talking about a second wave or a second phase of the Occupy movement. How do you see us moving at this point?
Well, the outreach to people, the information is vital, that people get the information. I'll give you an example of educational opportunities. You've got to take it wherever you can find it. The best education I did when I looked like a Halloween fright mask after I got tear gassed. I didn't know what I looked like. I got on a bus to go home. And it's a bus.
Directly after it? You got on a... Whoa, all by yourself?
Well, there's young people that took me to the bus. And the bus stops almost at my house. So I said, no, I just want to go home. I didn't know what I looked like. I might have committed suicide if I had known what I looked like. Get on the bus, and the bus driver is one that I've seen a lot of times. I go that bus all the time. He said, what happened to you? And I said, I just got tear gassed. And so I sat down, and the lady next to me kept looking away, like, I can't look at this. And finally somebody asked what happened. And so I told them. And pretty soon the whole bus was engaged. And it's the first time they have seen what it really looks like when the cops attack a citizen. And that, to me, was one of the best educational moments.
That's sort of a hard way to go.
It's a hard way to go, and I don't recommend it. But you've got to use whatever happens and to turn it into education. Mm-hmm. To let people know what is really going on. And we don't have time. We don't have a lot of time. Right now, we still have the internet, but we don't know when that goes away. They have new weapon systems now, the militarization of the police that are frightening. That sound blaster that'll rattle people's brains. So those things are on the horizon, and the cops will have them eventually. So we need to talk also to our elected officials and ask them, as I have ours, has Homeland Security contacted you about buying into these weapon systems for your police? I know in Seattle they're studying it right now to see how much involvement the Homeland Security has in the purchasing of weapons for Seattle.